OHYES, the Ohio Healthy Youth Environment Survey, is a voluntary anonymous online survey designed to collect data from Ohio students in grades 7 through 12. The survey collects data on important adolescent health topics. OHYES helps parents, schools, students, and others by providing data that can help identify needs and trends and support planning to better meet those needs. The OHYES survey is completely voluntary and anonymous, which greatly reduces the potential for harm. At the same time, schools administering the OHYES need to take steps to reduce potential harms by securing consent and protecting the rights of students being surveyed. In this video, you will learn how to secure informed consent from parents and students, how to protect the rights of students being surveyed, and how to report confidentiality problems or survey irregularities. Notify parents and students about the survey. In order to obtain informed consent, the school survey coordinator or principal will need to notify parents and students about OHYES to obtain passive consent. That is, parents must be notified of the survey and must be given ample time to opt out. This is done by using the OHYES parent letter and opt-out form. Most parents do not object to student participation. However, all parents must be fully notified and schools must obtain passive consent. Passive consent requires schools to use at least 2 methods of communication. Schools must guarantee receipt, so at least one method must notify parents by email or by postal mail. When possible, send the parent letter and opt-out form with other school materials requiring signatures. For example, the letter could be included in the registration or enrollment materials sent to all parents at the beginning of the school year. Other notification methods can include phone calls, posts to the school website, text alerts, or newsletters that then refer the parent to the full parent letter and opt-out form. OHYES does not recommend classroom distribution of the parent notification letter to obtain passive consent because students may not give the forms to their parents and may be surveyed without parent awareness. Schools may customize the parent letter and opt-out form templates provided by OHYES by adding the school's logo and principal's name along with details about why the school feels the information will be helpful. The language about the survey methodology should not be changed. It is required by the Department of Health Human Subjects Review Board to meet passive parental consent procedures. The letter should be sent at least 3 weeks prior to the survey date. A reminder should be sent 1 week prior to the survey date to remind parents that opt-out forms are due to the school office. The survey should be made available for staff and parents to view. Be sure to post the actual version that will be administered by your school. Both the 110-item standard OHYES questionnaire and the 119-item optional OHYES questionnaire are available on the OHYES website. The standard questionnaire excludes all questions related to sexual behavior. You can download a copy of the survey from the OHYES website and then post the survey on the school or district website. To accommodate parents without internet access, schools also should keep a paper copy of the survey in the office. Monitor opt-out forms. Schools have flexibility in how they will collect opt-out forms. Here are some tips and tricks to facilitate the process of monitoring the opt-out forms. It may be best to have a single person or office monitor refusals. Carefully track the returned forms. Create and maintain a list of all students whose parents have chosen to opt out. The Human Subjects Review Board requires that this list be kept on file at the school for 4 years. No list is needed of students who choose not to participate during the survey administration. Students have the right to decline participation. Students should not be pressured to participate in the OHYES survey. Staff should share their excitement about the survey and how it can help the school, but staff should also emphasize that participation in the survey is voluntary. There are no penalties or rewards for achieving a certain percentage of students participating in the survey, and participation rates will not be posted. No one should ever insist that a student take the OHYES survey. Students have the right to confidentiality. No personally identifying information should be collected as part of the OHYES survey. In addition, schools should take the following steps to protect confidentiality. Avoid attempting to track in any way the answers students have provided, including through electronic surveillance methods. Avoid coaching or guiding students during the survey. This includes giving students verbal or nonverbal cues, hints about how to answer the questions, suggestions, or paraphrasing or defining any part of the survey questions or response options. Communicate the time allocated for the OHYES survey, but do not give students additional time or rush them to complete the survey. Ensure students are not passing notes, talking, or disturbing others. Ensure students look only at their own computer, not at their neighbors' or friends' computers. Make sure students are seated with adequate spacing to foster privacy. Avoid watching students enter their responses. Make sure students do not use cell phones or other handheld electronic devices during survey administration. Follow your school's policy on whether cell phones or other handheld electronic devices may be used by students after they have completed the survey. Make sure no one takes photos of response screens during administration. Finally, because students may feel more comfortable answering truthfully if their teacher is not the one supervising the survey, try to have teachers switch classrooms or have another school staff member supervise the classroom administration of the OHYES. Risk of harm to students participating in the OHYES is low, and taking the steps to obtain parental consent and protect the rights of students helps minimize that risk. Schools should also assign a staff member to answer student concerns about the survey and promptly report any confidentiality problems or survey irregularities. Assign someone to answer student concerns. A designated member of the school staff should be available to answer questions from students. Be sure all students know who to ask if questions come up. This is an important way to minimize the risk of harm to students from taking the survey. Report confidentiality problems and survey irregularities. Sometimes actions or events may occur before, during, or after administration that may compromise or negatively impact the validity of the survey. These could include loss of internet connectivity, a fire alarm during the administration process, or some other disturbance. Confidentiality problems, survey irregularities, and unanticipated problems during the survey administration process must be reported immediately to the school survey coordinator and to OHYES by emailing info@oyes.ohio.gov. You will need to provide the school IRN, school district IRN, and the date and time the survey was taken. The risk of harm to students from participating in the OHYES is low. Schools can take steps to minimize that risk by obtaining passive consent from parents, safeguarding confidentiality and anonymity, respecting students' rights to decline participation, making staff available to address student concerns, and promptly reporting any confidentiality problems or survey irregularities. Schools are encouraged to review the templates and guiding documents on the OHYES website downloads page for more information, and to reach out with any questions related to consent and confidentiality. The OHYES survey is an important tool that helps us improve the health and well-being of our schools and communities. Your work to protect the student rights related to the survey and to create safe, confidential environments for completing the survey is critically important to the success of the OHYES survey in your school. Think about what specific steps you and your colleagues will need to take to protect student rights and to successfully administer the OHYES at your school.